All right, let's talk macros. So, macros are your protein, carbs, fats. They're the three big building blocks of every single thing that you're eating. And you've already built out your stack and you've got a good understanding of, oh, I'm, eating chicken and that's a protein source, or Greek yogurt or eggs, that's a protein source. But the thing that can be confusing is, well, do they have anything else within them? Is it a protein plus a fat? And that's where this video can be extremely helpful. So I want to just kind of give you a framework of what it might be for most of these. And then I definitely want you to email me, message me if you're confused on anyone, or if you think something might need to go into two boxes and you're unsure. You can always do a little Google search, but sometimes, as we know with Google, there's a nightmare, right? So let's kind of look at some of your big proteins right off the bat, right? That are primarily just a complete protein source, meaning they do not contain carbohydrates or fats within them. And then we're going to have these kind of realms within them, right? So protein obviously is the building block. It is, we always say calories are king. So we want to be in a deficit no matter what, if our goal is weight loss, which it is. And protein is queen. She is the one that keeps us from losing muscle mass. There are so many wonderful things that are coming from protein. It's got an amazing thermogenic effect, meaning thermogenic heats up within the system. Up to 30% of it is being burned just during our digestive phase. So it's really important. So let's just go through some that obviously are mostly all protein based. And everyone always says chicken, and you're absolutely right. But I think a key to identify is protein breast. Sometimes like the thighs have a good amount of fat within them, and it may be a combination of the two. So that's a good one, right? A second great option, you're going to have whitefish. Whitefish is much lower in fat, so it's obviously such a good protein source, right? And this is not going to be an end-all, be-all list, but I want to give you several options to make it really clear, or as clear as possible. All right, my third go-to is going to be ground turkey. I mean, that stuff is just super lean, and I have it in stir fry, tacos, turkey tacos, add it to pasta. So it becomes a wonderful way to get a lot of protein in an easy form, right? Your pure protein is going to be stuff like egg whites. The yolk is what contains a lot of the fat, the cholesterol. Again, it's really good fat, really good cholesterol. We're going to talk about that in a second, but it's we're just going through and understanding when you're trying to bump up protein. So I'll oftentimes add egg whites to my breakfast, right? So and then you have stuff like protein powders, right? And this is a great way to make a quick shake to bump that protein up if you're struggling, or if you want to have just protein without all the extra calories that are going to come from fats and other things, right? Your really low or usually non-fat dairies, definitely like your Greek yogurt, right? And I'm going to try and squeeze this in there. And then stuff like, cottage cheese as well for a non-fat dairy, right? Shellfish. If you're a shellfish fan, you can get some good stuff. Not sure where you live, so it kind of depends there. And then my last one is like canned fish or canned chicken. It can be a great way, but typically tuna, right? So canned tuna is another really good one. So all of these are almost pure protein, which is amazing. So you go palm size and you're getting a minimum of 20 grams, oftentimes up to 30. And you are able to digest 30 plus grams of protein in a sitting. There is research proving that. So you don't have to worry about that. I know some people say like, oh, you're going to have issues with, your liver not being able to process. And that's untrue, right? Studies have proven that. You're going to have kidney issues. Again, completely false. The amount that it would take is insane. And there are other issues. Now, of course, if you have specific health issues where you need to be aware of stuff like that, that's a problem. And people say sometimes protein powders make them feel really bloated and all of the stuff. It's usually the dietary fiber that's in there that is causing that. It's rare that it's the actual protein. It's the fillers in something that's not like a great protein powder. So again, this is kind of your list. And the reason this is so valuable is you're going to get 4 calories per gram, not about, this is what protein is directly, 4 calories per gram. So when we're looking at macronutrients, your macros are your big blocks, right? And so the nice thing is it's not as many calories as something like a fat when it's going in your system. So you can have a lot more of it to equate to the same amount, to like more than double protein for your amounts of fats. And it's not going to be stored as fat because, again, 30% of it is being burned through your system, right? So pretty freaking awesome. So now let's go into the wonderful land. And I do say wonderful because we love them, is your carbs, right? And when I'm talking carbs in this regard, please note it is all encompassing. So I want to hit the two that most people don't even really think about when they're talking carbs: your veggies and fruits, right? Those are carbohydrates, my friends. They really are. And the nice thing is that because there is a lot of natural dietary fiber within them, we get this thing that is also called net carbs. Now, I do not recommend going down through the rabbit hole by any means with tracking and figuring out net carbs. All net carbs is taking the total calorie count from your carbs and subtracting the dietary fiber, and then that gives you what's considered net carbs, right? And it's because fiber increases the burning effect of those calories within your system, and you're going to flush a lot more of it out. We need dietary fiber. It's really, really important for our system, right, to clean itself out. But the thing is, we can't equate exactly for the amount. Oftentimes the statistic is you subtract the two and you get a direct result. Not true, because we don't know how the sugar, alcohols, and the fiber is being 100% absorbed in our system. So it's not a this minus this the way that it works. There's no need to go down that rabbit hole. It's just going to create a mental complex with what you're tracking, unless you're doing a competitor type show or you need a very, very specific type diet for an aesthetic effect. Like if this is the big stuff, my friends, and we're just trying to become healthy, amazing human beings and lose weight, you don't need to worry about it. But I just wanted to address it because it is a common question. And a lot of companies will only report the net carbs on something to kind of deviate, like, oh, it's really low carb. But really it could be a 20 grams of carbs within it, and 14 grams of fiber. So it's giving you a net carbs of 6 grams. Just note, the higher the fiber content, it's getting burned up pretty well in your system and pushed out, right? Ultimately. So I digress. But veggies and fruits, my friends, are carbohydrates, and we need them. They are wonderful things. Carbs are the fuel for our body in so many different ways. And so I know there's the keto thing, but I challenge you to eat, to be okay with your fruits and veggies, my friends. They are wonderful. So going beyond that, we have some delicious carbs. And my first one that I'm going to write down here are potatoes. And when I say potatoes, I do mean both, like your white potatoes, your sweet potatoes, a ton of vitamin A and wonderful values that come from your sweet potatoes that are hard to get from other sources of food in that quantity. So go for it. Work it into your portion size, hand cupped, right? It's amazing. And then we've got things like rolled oats. It's just super awesome. If you're into oatmeal, it is good. Right? We've got like cream of rice, like cream of wheat, so to speak, right? That can be a great one. If you want a morning carbohydrate snuck in there, so good. Bread, I mean, right? How do you not love bread? But when we're talking about this, we're talking about plain, because this is just the source of carbs. It does not have the butter on it to make it a carb plus a fat. Okay. So this is not an exhaustive list, but I just wanted to give you some frameworks here. So let's go now into the wonderful world of fats. Oh, you know what? Let me touch on one last thing here, my friends. Again, carbs, just like protein, right? Carbs have 4 calories, per gram. So we can eat a decent amount, which is good, right? So let's go into fats. Here's the thing about fats. 9 calories per gram, which is why, I mean, it's more than double, my friends. So we don't need as much within our system to equate to our calorie issue, which is calories are king. We've got to be in a caloric deficit. So things like keto can work really well to fill you up and reduce those carbs, because carbs are going to store water weight. Every 1 gram of carbs stores usually 4 to 5 grams of water weight. Does not mean you're storing fat, my friends. Like it means it's helping build and repair your muscles, and carbs are what help you recover, right? That soreness, you need carbs. So with fats, great for brain health, joint health, cognitive function, so many valuable things. We just we're going to feel full, which is good, but we got to be careful that we're not overdoing it, because this is how we can sneak in so many calories. And this is why so many restaurant foods taste incredible, because they're smothered with fat from the time that they're cooked from the very beginning and all the way through. And there's certain fats that are really healthy for us, and other ones that can be kind of detrimental for our system, right? So when we're looking at just pure fats, mostly it's going to come from oils, right? And the good ones, the ones that we want to have in our system, things like olive oil. Good olive oil, amazing, my friends, right? Fish oil. I take fish oil every single day, as you'll see from the supplements video that's in here. Another one is MCT oil, some multi-chain triglycerides. And you can add any of these into your diet if you're finding like you're not getting enough. Most people do get enough when you see the combination that we're getting here, right? Another really good one, I cook in it all the time, is coconut oil. See how they're all oils, right? And then the last one, which I still think is delicious, especially when you combine it with some stuff, but is grass-fed butter. And the reason I say grass-fed is just because we know that it's going to be a better quality of what's going in our system. It's one of the few things where I say you got to kind of go that as much natural as possible, so that it's doesn't have a bunch of fillers within it. So the ones you want to stay away from are like your sunflower oil, your canola oils, your vegetable oils. Anything processed is going to have these, and these are going to create some inflammation in your body, guaranteed. Stay in your system, even with one serving, up to 17 straight days, which is amazing. A research study showing that it's really hard to get it out of your system. And if you're struggling with a lot of inflammation in your joints and different things, yeah, there's some amazing research out there proving that we've got to, take control of a lot of the processed food, a lot of the fast foods. That's what's keeping all of this stuff, on the shelves for so long, and making it unhealthy. So these are like our pure forms, and there's a few more you could sneak in there and add, but I wanted to give you a pretty decent size list, right? So now when we're looking at it, there's a lot of things that contain both. So I'm going to sneak in a few here. I might pull a few to the side. But when we're looking at something that is a protein, right, plus a fat, meaning it has both within it, we've got some delicious things like salmon, right? We've got steak, or beef, I should say. Now you can get beef and it can be really lean. So, and it's a healthy fat for you, right? Because you're getting the iron from the beef that we all need within our system. A lot of people have iron deficiencies. So that's great. Just be aware of getting a lean cut can be important, for that reason. The fat is going to make it taste delicious, of course, but we may be eating a lot more than we really need and not getting enough protein within our systems by doing so. So you can get like a 96% lean ground beef when you're cooking with that. And I think that's great. Just be aware there's some fat in there. That's just part of the game. That's why it tastes good. So I'm going to sneak a few more over here on the side, just so you know that they're a combo. But we've got pork. And another one, of course, would be like your whole egg. And again, these are all healthy things. Healthy, wonderful things that have good fat in them. But just be aware, the more that you have, you may not need as much oil or as much fats of any other sort within that. It's just the way that goes, right? So be highly aware of that. Now, let's look at our protein plus our carbs, right? So P plus C. I apologize for running out of room here. But we've got some wonderful things that are packed in there, like beans. Beans are a great one. So oftentimes, if you're going to have a salad, you need protein, and just load up with the beans that are on there. I do it all the time with a variety of different beans that are on there. I love chickpeas. That is one of my go-tos. And edamame, like that's another really good one. So all those that would count in there. I like lima beans. A lot of people don't. Black beans, kidney beans, like you name it, my friends. But they're that combination, right? So if I'm going with that combination, I am going to be mindful that I don't add a huge another carbohydrate source within there, because I'm probably getting enough. If I am adding another protein source, I'm just going to make sure that it's one that falls from this, and I'm using my my kind of combo a little bit more geared towards calling it a carb if I'm looking at my portion sizes. So for instance, if I'm making a salad and I have chicken breast and I have beans, I'm going to consider those beans my carbohydrate source. So I'm going to only want to go with a handful cupped and throw that on there, and my palm size is going to be my, let's say, my chicken breast that's on there as well. Now, if I am not using my chicken breast and I'm just going with beans, well, then I'm going to have a serving, palm size of the beans to equate for my protein. And I can go with a hand size cupped of, again, another source, or the same source. So then I can call that my carbs, because both are going to be split, right? So I could have 2 servings and it's going to give me both. And it's really going to fill me up with what I need. So I could either have the beans on there and have a piece of bread on the side and consider that my carbs and my beans my protein. Or if I really wanted to be smart about it, I could have my beans and then I could have a second thing that's a combination of the two. And I'll use something that's pretty popular these days now is quinoa. And quinoa is a protein and a carbohydrate. So in that regard, I can treat it as either based on my situation. So if I'm using it as my protein source, it's my only thing, I can either double it up, or I can add that plus piece of bread, that plus beans, and give myself that plus potatoes, and give myself a carbohydrate source. It is going to be a slightly more dense carbohydrate meal this way to go this direction. But I know I'm still okay from an overall calorie standpoint. I'm using my hand as that guide. So hopefully that helps. And something that's usually kind of a combination of the two is usually fat-free dairy. It typically does have carbohydrates within that. So a lot of times you'll hear, I'm just going to say fat-free dairy right in here. You'll hear a lot like, oh, chocolate milk post-workout. It's good. But why? And especially like a non-fat or a fat-free it's what's known. It's because it's packed with protein. It's got really good carbohydrates and it doesn't have any fat in it. So it's a perfect source from that regard, right? And then another one that I love as a snack, and I'm just going to draw an arrow here. Hopefully you guys are okay with this thing getting a little muddled, is jerky. Jerky's a great one. Carbs and protein loaded up, right? And it's a great source for a quick snack. So kind of gives you a framework there. Of course, there's more than that, but that's where we're going there. So now we're going to go fats and carbs combined. We've got probably our number one most common used that is so good for you is avocado. Wonderful avocado. Eat up, my friends. And then for the rest of the stuff that's fats plus carbs, it's pretty much anything that is delicious that's like out there. When you have bread and butter combined, delicious. When you have bread and cheese combined, delicious, right? And so I'm going with my healthy list. Obviously, cheese is a fat plus a protein, so we could sneak that up in there too, right? And so then that's when we're getting all 3 things in there combined. When we put a cheese on top of a bread and call it pizza, right? That's why it tastes so good. So we have to just be mindful that it's a ton of calories within it. So things that are still just fats and carbs, I'm going to give you chocolate, right? What am I doing? Why am I writing an A in there? I don't know. Had a moment. was talking instead of writing. Chocolate would be a good one. And then pretty much any of your other treats, we were kind of talking about it earlier, but they're all going to be in that regard. And so we need to be mindful that we may think we're just having a carbohydrate source, but it may already have the fat on it. And then we're adding additional fats on top of fats on top of fats. It's really easy to do. So just be mindful of where your fats are. If there's already fats on a carbohydrate source, you may not need to be adding much more. So it's interesting. We add avocado, we add cheese, we add dressing, and all of a sudden our salad, right? We add some sesame seeds. All of a sudden our salad is just loaded with every type of fat, and it's way more calories than we ever expected, right? And so then that brings us to the trifecta, right, of having what's in all of them. So I'm going to just go down here, right? I'm going to go fats plus carbs plus protein. So you do have some sources like nuts, right, that do have all of those things. And that's why we still want to be mindful of having a small quantity, right? Most salads are going to include all three sources, and it's going to be more fats than you ever imagined. So I really do put salads down there. And any type of protein bar, again, is going to be kind of that combination. And so that's why a protein bar I would consider a complete meal as far as a snack type meal goes. Not enough calories for that. And then any of your like nut butters would, of course, be on that list as well. So I personally recommend, if you're confused on any of this, to review as much as you need. But also, like, if you're really wondering if something is a combination of it, you can plug it into the app called MyFitnessPal and just see what comes up, or even just search online on Google, and it's going to tell you exactly what the macronutrient breakdown is of that. And then you're kind of going, oh, okay, this is one or the other. Whatever its dominance is, right? So if it's more protein than carbs, I would consider it to be a protein. If it's more carbs than fats, I would consider it to be a carb, because a lot of these are going to fall into these multi-categories, right? And then pretty much anything you buy from a store or a restaurant or that's processed, of course, is going to be a combination of everything, usually pretty heavily these two. All right. So just want to bring some awareness to this for you. Hopefully this makes sense. And if you have any questions, of course, you know where to find me, and we'll be talking soon.